The stock market was powered to all-time highs in the third quarter, and it was broad-based globally. It wasn't just the US tech stocks. From international equities to US small mid-caps to the largest companies in the country. We saw a broad-based rally of between 7 and 12% in Q3, based on the indexes we track. Now, that's more than the US stock market returns in a typical year historically. Now, while this rally was broad-based in Q3, there were definitely a handful of companies driving the bulk of those gains. Companies like NVIDIA, Microsoft, a lot of these AI data center infrastructure companies. And that brings us to the thought of the quarter for us, which is, are we in a bubble? It's something I'm hearing more and more media pundits talk about. They're reasoning by analogy and thinking about the internet.com bubble, and are we headed for the AI version of that? Now, you can read the full thoughts from us in our Q3 letter, which we'll link in the bio, but the TLDR for us is that we don't think we're in a bubble. And the reason is, unlike the internet era and the dot-com bust in 2000, the companies that are driving these indexes to all-time highs today in AI are actually generating productivity and cost benefits for companies around the world today. So the earnings growth, a lot of companies and customers of these businesses are seeing material benefits. It's not just smoke and mirrors. It's not all hype and euphoria. And so unlike the internet bubble, where you saw a lot of this fiber build out across the country to try to drive internet connectivity, wasn't really used for 5, 10, 15 years, really until the advent of the iPhone in the mid-2000s. We're seeing the benefits of AI be realized today. Now, that being said, expectations are very lofty for a handful of these companies. We're about to start to get Q3 earnings reported. And if they don't deliver really robust revenue and earnings growth into these elevated expectations, you could see their stock prices take a drive downwards and see material volatility. But that being said, when you zoom out over the long term, we think the earnings growth of these businesses is totally different, frankly, much higher quality than we saw back in the internet bubble. And for that reason, we think while valuations are stretched today by historical standards, the earnings growth in many cases justifies those valuations and then some. So again, for our full thoughts on Q3 and this specific topic, check our link in the bio.